There.
New ace. Did this change his HP? It did change his HP. Okay, cool.
Oh my god, does Blit have HP?
Okay. So, what happened last time?
That's a really good question.
We all met up as the group was, just returning from their excursion?
Yeah, we landed outside the little, I don't want to say costume shop, embroidery shop, whatever.
Taylor.
God bless it. And
Well,
then I think
we start with
everyone else.
Roma.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
We went back in time a bit. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. How dare you all forget?
Yeah, and now you have to do the recap.
You yourself, so you can't comment too much on that.
Yeah. Roma had a little bit with Teddy, I think he's called now, or Theo, or whatever he's saying his name is.
Whatever. That's on you guys.
Yeah.
Ted, and Teddy.
I know.
Yeah,
I know his real
Ted,
name,
yeah.
but you guys don't get to know that yet.
Damn.
It's actually Thomas. I know, wild and out there.
His name is actually Mr. President, but you were saying, Kirsty?
Oh god. Yeah, she was saying. Well, he was saying, sorry, that got the potential to, what was it? Sort of fight whilst invoking like another person or something, or like a hero or master or something like that. And he was suggesting that she sort of try and invoke her old ballet teacher. But she sort of managed to successfully do during a spar at the very end. After getting her arse handed to her a couple of times. What else was said? Yes, yeah. And I think I've got written down that there's a master west of town, but I don't know how accurate that is, because my note taking can be a bit sporadic. Because I don't remember that.
He did say there was.
Okay.
There was a master that he knew of west of town.
Master.
It's just him with a mustache.
When I say west of town, I don't mean like a mile west of town. Somewhere on the map that is west of town.
Yeah.
Northeast, southwest. That's so half the map. You only have half the
Somewhere in
map to
that
search.
direction.
It's half the map, yes.
Half the known
Yeah,
world.
exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so next time we'll decide somewhere to go, Roma's just gonna be like, somewhere west, please. Yeah, and then they sort of have the spar, and she has her sleep in, and they get up, and then they head off and find out. But then Roma finds out about the goblin in the sack.
Yeah, after the one-on-one tutoring with Roma, we picked up the next noon, which was the president at the time, and we were on our way to the camp and the captains, and that's when we met up with Eva and Falk.
And we also saw or were told there was a goblin in the sack, in the goblin sack.
Yeah, in the goblin sack.
The goblin sack.
You know, the two Shiarians of the group didn't like that.
Oh, we
There
also
shouldn't
saw
be
a
a
very
goblin
squat.
in the sack. There should be a goblin corpse in the sack.
We also saw a very squat halfling.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot. I was gonna have Jim question
saw
that.
a really fat halfling.
Some people
Yeah,
having
some
suspicions
yeah.
about what you might be, other people just being like,
Some of us who like know what it is.
Yeah.
We need to
Roma's
put
just
that
like,
kid on a
"Kind
diet."
of, but not really.
Dude, that halfling needs to be put on a diet.
Yeah.
No, my joke. It's in it louder. No.
That's a tall
Oh, I didn't hear it, sorry.
I didn't hear it, so therefore I'm not stealing anything. Original content.
Then after the goblin sack, Fi showed up, and then he had a bit of like, I think Mina's like, "Come on, dude, why aren't we spending time together?"
Why are we hanging out
Train alone?
without me?
What about me?
Touch his fingers together.
I'm going to die soon.
Genuinely.
Don't
I could literally die any day now.
Plus ratio.
I forget We went to the captains for the express purpose of getting their
They're 2
second
cents.
opinion, right?
Yeah, we were heading towards a stalemate where some people were like, kill the goblin. No, don't kill the goblin. Kill the goblin. Don't kill the goblin.
Kill the goblin
Well,
slowly.
it was
Kill the goblin
torture
slowly.
that probably ends in killing.
And then Caradoc suggested, why don't we look to the captains? I trust Lois to know what's what about this. So let's go find her.
I trust Herman. Let's
And
in
then-
the same spot.
Yeah, exactly. And they were. So.
Hmm?
No, I was just gonna say we brought the goblin to them to get their take.
Deposited the goblin from the goblin sack, and Herman's pistol was immediately on him, as was Falk's, because he's a follower.
Yeah, I don't think this man blinks. I think it just half his brain registered. There was a goblin, half gun now.
Unsurprisingly, Herman did, I think, advocate for handing the goblin over to Keenan, who we all know where his stance would be, to find out what he knows. Lois, being the well-traveled, open-minded free roamer she is, advocated for giving him a chance. Wears her heart on the sleeve and things like that. She likes to see the good in people, benefit of the doubt, all that. Which makes sense to us, real life people that have a heart. To the Shiarians, though,
Why would I do that?
And the Guru, no, trust issues. We know how goblins are. Falk and Lois did butt heads on that especially when he expressed a desire to, still be like, we're still going to take this to. I'm still going to take this to Captain Keenan. I'm unconvinced, and she grilled him for that. But she stayed true to her principles, and we got a pretty valuable look at the kind of person she is, I think. So Falk ushered the goblin out of the tent, but before we can make it to Keenan's tent, who, he was with Cecil. I believe his badger stepped in the way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thus started the more genuine discussion amongst the party members about what we were going to do with this goblin. And of course, there were more voices dissenting with Falk than there were siding with them. Chief among them were, of course, Badger and Caradoc, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually Falk did relent. Eva herself did say that this wasn't the hill to die on. And so with the goblin's life thoroughly threatened, he was more loose-lipped and more forthcoming with information. We learned.
I have here in my notes, Hawk and Eva will tell us they told us so when the goblin betrays us.
Falk and Eva, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Falk, thank you.
You gotta stay on top of that.
Those were Eva's words, to be fair.
Yeah, they were.
Will Falk join in, though?
We'll find
It's
out.
a follower.
Or hopefully he is a follower. Hopefully we won't need to find out, though. But yeah, we learned some valuable things from the goblin, from Blit. We learned of Vix?
Vix. Yeah.
Vix.
Vix.
Who was
Weird name.
the goblin leader of the all-goblin raiding party.
Warband.
He has a longsword, greatsword, very similar.
It's a great sword to him. It's a long sword
to normal people.
Yeah.
So he's a longsword of amber, which we found out later from comparing it, from taking the dagger to a Grover, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The long sword did look very similar in make to the dagger that Roma had taken. And Kirsty, I believe at that point you hopped off.
Yeah, I think I pretty much just handed over the dagger and then went to bed.
Yeah, you handed it over to Falk, and immediately he put it into his bandolier.
Into his where, sorry?
His bandolier, without giving it a second glance. He claimed it. He's like, "This is mine."
Ah, damn it.
But yeah. We learned that Vix got this longsword in like a game of cards or some type of gambling game.
Some game.
I think it was dice.
Dice. From its previous owner, who never used it.
Yeah, keyword owner, not wielder.
Yes.
Owner.
He possessed the item. That's it.
And according to Blit, and we did confirm this with Grover, the longsword is very likely cursed and is sapping away Vix's lifespan, which for a goblin already isn't that long. So it's like,
Right, it was Egonic Amber. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that guy's got like 20 minutes at best.
Egonic.
Egonic.
Amber,
Yeah.
Egon.
Amber used by Egon.
Yeah, that was
Egon.
a
Kill
joke.
Well. What else did we learn? Oh, we learned that
Spiders?
Huh?
They're spiders?
Yes, they have
Oh,
spiders
oh,
that
yeah.
use the venom for on their weapons, in addition to the shit.
It's one or the other, in fairness, because
Spitzel
they don't.
spiders, right?
They don't coat when you double dip. It doesn't coat right.
Yeah, it's like wearing two condoms. If you double bag it, it's actually less effective.
Oh my God.
One for your nuts, one for your stick.
Okay, even though Alec is doing most of the
That's
recap, can we give him the inspiration?
Terrible.
Wait, you don't just curl the condom all the way around the whole bag? Anyway.
You just get a grocery bag and wrap it up.
Bro, that's a garbage.
Getting off topic.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have spider venom as well as
Venom.
shit that we have to worry about. They have
Spider
traps
spider.
outside. They have a palisade wall all around the perimeter. They don't have any
Two
pitfall
wargs.
traps. Yes, they have two wargs, which can be spoken to.
Which we found out later.
Yes. And what was that?
Who cop died?
Uh-oh.
You heard about the wargs, so it's like, ah, no!
There we go. We know that there's no pitfall traps on the eastern side, which is the side that Blit would approach from if he were to want to assassinate Vix, theoretically.
Blit did had to like RP assassinate Vix because the content was foreign to him. Like
He
he's
did a
just
good
like
job, all things
he's like, dude, that's
considered.
crazy, dude. Why would you do that? But let me get in character.
You know what? If I did, what would I do?
And he came up with like an actually solid plan that I think we're debating using.
Your guys' call.
Yes, think so.
What else
We'll
did we
see.
do? We learn anything else?
There's a river nearby.
Oh,
There is a
there's a
tavern
stream.
west of it, west of their camp.
Mhm.
Which they say the doors came from, or Blitz says the doors come from.
What's a dwarf?
Yeah, some of you guys don't know what dwarf is, but I digress.
Generally
Which,
assumes
knowing that
it's
there's
some
a
type of
goblin
goblin.
raiding party nearby, and there's a dwarf just walking around willy-nilly.
There are
Wait, hold on.
realms, that's for certain, especially this far north.
Are you thinking those are connected,
Yeah.
considering their history of trading?
Potentially, I mean, dwarves are war profiteers, and
There seems to be a small war coming.
mhm.
That's a good point. That was a good point. Remember that.
I just wouldn't be surprised if we saw that dwarf in the goblin camp. Anyway,
That's when Roma took out the dagger.
was the dwarf within eyesight when?
No.
Okay,
No,
so we're good. We're good on that.
like we were still talking about the Spilgurt spiders with the Blitz,
Yes.
and then I think after the dagger, Falk has it now, or he gave it to Grover. I think that's when we split paths, and Falk went to talk to the Glendon Rangers to
Yes.
get them on board, and the rest of us went flower shopping.
He spoke to two of them, told them the mission that we have for them. They recommended bringing a third guy along. I forget the name that he
Kasich?
overheard. Kasich? Yeah.
Kasich.
Kasek, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, thank you, Fred. Which they'll have a prize for us when we get together and re-meet them. I assume later today. But yeah, then Hawk started walking back through camp and stopped by to check up on Captain Cecil in his trapped tent.
Yes, it was indeed trapped on all avenues of approach except the main entrance.
And maybe we'll find out the repercussions of his conversation in their session. Who knows? What were you guys doing?
Yeah, what were you guys doing?
No, really? Will we? That's
No.
cool.
Nah, we're Marion. It's not gonna do anything.
I think we were originally headed straight to the Ash Wardens from there, but I said I would like to go past the florist if there is one, and then we were like, we'll just tag along everyone. So we went.
Get the party together.
Yeah,
It's easier that way.
I believe the teenager looking after the store's name was Ruvan.
Ruvan, yep.
Ruvan. So made a request for him to deliver some flowers. He had to go get the tulips. Yeah, the
Yep.
tulips. And then I don't have that written down, but maybe you do, Garth. There was a shall I call it an interaction with his lordship, his majesty, the regal Mittens.
You're glossing
Mittens,
past
rest
a
of his name.
few things. Francis did show up, and he's the one that's gonna get the tulips, not Ruvan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ruvan initially offered, but then Francis showed up, and it's his aunt's shop, so he knows where to go.
Right.
To the chagrin of a few people in the room of sending this kid alone.
Yeah, but then also the kind of reassurance of don't worry about it from Eva, who rolled really, really bad on deception. Like I think they got a 1. And had come from that direction. So I trust her opinion that it's probably safe for him. Don't go off the beaten path.
Oh, was it Francis that brought down Mittens? Is that why I get confused?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. He was like, oh, hey, do you want to see Mittens? And we're like, well, of course I want to see Mittens. I have cat treats. And then Caradoc also freshened up the cat treats, I think.
You get fresh in one.
A single cat treat.
You could have done all of them. It just would have taken you like an hour.
Yeah, because it's like, there's like 30 cat treats in here. It takes 6 seconds a hop. It's like, okay, well, that's going to take a minute.
No, it takes a minute a pop.
A minute of... Oh, my God.
It takes a minute to cast Mending.
Oh, that's
Yep.
funny, though. Anyways.
Yeah, definitely out of combat spell.
Yeah. Jin talks to Francis and Sir Mittens, first of his name, long may he reign. And initially, it's just a nice conversation between old friends, giving them some cat treats, having a great time, and then Jin offers to basically be a translator between the two, or at least a more direct one, because a kid and their pet kind of gets the idea, but this is literally word for word. And Mittens basically says, your family would be proud, I'm going to be with you until the end. Which Francis...
Wasn't it his brother?
Yeah, his brother would be proud. Yeah, I abbreviated it to family, didn't I? Yeah, his brother would be proud. To which Francis is just like, on the verge of a breakdown already, and that's sending me over. I'm gonna go get those tulips now, guys. Don't worry about me. And then
Me
took off.
casting mage armor on Francis also.
True, very important.
He recognized the sensation of the spell. The school of it.
Oh, he also gave us a
don't
scroll.
worry. Don't
Yeah, go
worry
on.
about the mage armor, right? Because that's based on attack rolls, not saving throws.
Right?
He has a
Yeah.
cat to help with saving throws. Yeah, he took his leave, being very emotional. But honestly, I think everyone in the situation agreed like he had to get that out of the system. I think even the teenager agreed. That kid's been through some stuff. Anyways, yeah. Before he left, though, I forgot about this. He did give us, he gave Jin a scroll that his brother made, which isn't an official spell. I believe you described it as just the Abjuration Wizard's
Arcane.
ward.
Arcane Ward. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Both the feature and the spell.
Gotcha.
Which is
I
really
think
impressive.
it's- Yeah.
8.
Yeah. Which
8 overheal.
I don't know how that spell, or not spell, well, I guess that's spell, how that feature calculates. Is that like a lot of overheal for that kind of thing?
Not particularly. It's about on par as when you first get it.
Okay. Still, it's more than most could do.
I guess it would follow the same clauses of Arcane Ward, the class feature. If you guys cast an Abjuration spell on yourself, it increases the Abjuration ward to the 8 cap. So you could heal the ward. But that's only if you cast Abjuration spells. Which I know not a lot of you guys actually even cast spells in the first place, so...
Does one of my 2 spells do Abjuration? I got Divination and Enchantment. Nope.
Nope.
Oh, which
I was
reminds
gonna say
me,
probably not.
mark that down real quick. So Jin will die before he uses the scroll because he doesn't want it to get lost.
It is worth a lot of money. Like, that is something to point out. It is worth a hefty sum of coin.
Cool. Again, Jin will die before he loses the scroll. If anything, if he could find someone... we go over this later. Apparently, making one of these scrolls, you need like very specific ink, which makes it exceedingly difficult to do. But if we could find someone in the future to possibly duplicate it, then he might dabble with using the thing.
Very expensive and rare.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Normal D&D is like, oh, you're a wizard? Oh, just get the spell or magic ink as to expand your spell book. Cool. That makes it sound like in normal D&D settings, because it is. Around and available probably in every major city and other places. No, here is like, you might have to like be registered in order to go buy it.
Damn.
Because that's how rare it is.
I think it's also
Isn't there also like,
resource?
I think you mentioned... Oh, sorry, go on first.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think you also said it's a finite resource.
It is a
Yes,
finite
that.
resource. Yeah, so there are a very limited subsect of like avenues Francis's older brother could have made this scroll. Like, to be perfectly honest, like there's like for how much it costs, unless they're rich, which probably not, given that they live in Southern Belcaster, but I digress. It's very weird that he was able to make a scroll in the first place. Something you can do is you can break down other scrolls to get their ink back, or the components in the ink, add it to a new ink, and then get an equivocal or semi-equivocal amount of ink to make your own scroll again. It's a very arduous process, but it can be done. And it's good for criminals and stuff like that, who, they use a 5-finger discount to get spell scrolls and then repurpose it for their own nefarious purposes.
It was just breaking down like every book you could find in the library that has like something close to that.
It's not a 1-to-1 though. You do lose a bit of it in the process, sort of like melting down gold.
Yeah. Processing, getting rid of impurities, personal mistakes of the process. Anyways,
we got bust up the fucking milligram scales when we were talking about this stuff.
It turns into gold steam when it gets too hot.
Oh, Steam. Oh,
Gold
shit.
Steam.
Is that
real?
the exclusive club? Exclusive club for Steam? Gold Steam?
Oh no.
Anyways, so lab it afterwards.
I think after that is when we went to the Ash Wardens, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we all arrived there at about the same time.
We did.
Falk arrived there first, leading Edelweiss by the reins like he's been doing this whole time. I have to get better about treating her like Ash treats his Pikachu. Just never put her in the Pokeball.
Yeah, we could discuss something for that, because like then I don't know if there is a solution for this, but it's something I noticed in like a lot of games, where it's like your familiar only shows. It's like exactly like Pokemon. Your familiar shows up, or your mount shows up, or your pet shows up. Only when we need like some comedic relief or like some narrative story for it. Something that basically doesn't exist. Oh, you got hit by artillery? Oh, don't worry, it was not there. Don't worry, I don't fucking know.
Shut up.
You forgot, not forgot. Let's just call it quits. Right. So
narrative presence, yeah.
Yeah, narrative presence. So I wanted, along with what you want to do, I also want to like, maybe there's a way, maybe there's not. Maybe figure out a way to like incorporate them more often, because I forget about Giselle a lot, if I'm being perfectly honest.
That's like a bird that can like fly away and fly back. So,
yeah, but she's usually currently pretty close to Eva continuously, because she's equivocally like a conspiracy theory. Birds are drones.
Which, hey, we also forgot about Giselle, because Eva did send Giselle out to go scout the camp.
Oh, yeah.
Case in point.
Mhm.
If I remember correctly, the goblins initially rolled really good and saw the bird, and then
missed an attack.
Mhm.
After
She
some
just came back.
back and forth, missed an attack. Then she left and just came back, and they didn't notice her. So. Oh, I never made a battle map. Oh well.
Ah,
Don't
shit.
for next week.
Baseball battle.
What a
Slaughter.
tussle.
We'll kill them all in their sleep.
We'll slaughter.
So what happened to the Ashwardens?
The dagger was first, I think.
Dagger was first, and that's when we learned from Grover that it was 1 cursed and 2 amber, iconic amber. The method of making it was unknown
Oh, wait, no,
to him. I don't. Is there anything else that we learned about the dagger? I don't think so.
We learned not about the dagger specifically, but some about the amber. A standard practice in Makar. It's a material that is naturally inclined to receive or take curses, but isn't intrinsically cursed. Just very easy to curse.
Okay.
And that the Makarites had tried making, I think it was golems or artificial constructs
Yeah, they
out of
tried.
this material.
It didn't,
And
work,
it didn't
go
work
well.
well.
It didn't go that well. Which let me know must be a stupendous failure by Makarite standards. Right? Because if they just made an insane golem that kills everything on sight, they could use that. Right? They could use that. They could just throw it on the field, turn it on, and run the fuck away, or let the goblin that turned it on die with it, right? They would use that. So the fact that they don't do that is either, like, there has to be some other reason for why they don't, right? Because they have a really low threshold for, we can make it work. We can get by with that.
What it did, it healed the enemies and freed the slaves.
Mm-hmm.
It was Moses.
Made freedom fighting golems
Just eat and tries to establish democracy and rights.
It kicks on you as here, Viva la Revolution!
How did it do that? I don't even know right jaw. How does it know right jaw? It is the natural right of all living beings. Shut the fuck up! Propaganda golem.
Oh my god,
Oh my god, you're right.
So yeah, that was the dagger. Eva got by Nova, who pulled her aside, I think, or was it? Yeah, it was Nova pulled Eva aside.
Nova was like, okay, that's fine. I thought we were friends, but whatever. I help you guys so off. She guilt tripped her. And then Eva was the one that initiated. I was like, can I talk to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, geez, go gosh, G guarding. Oh, sure, I guess.
And then Mina followed them.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of trying to be stealthy.
She failed.
Yeah, she failed. Falk did not.
Hey!
Nice save.
Crash did send me that conversation. I can give you guys the cliff notes later, but for now I'll just say that it does pass the Bechdel test. So that's pretty good.
Nice.
God.
Dig it.
Jin got some calligraphy done by Shroud.
Right.
Yeah. Because he just had some intuition to see if he could, like, write the word fox kind of thing. And then from there...
No, go on.
Okay. Upon receiving said scroll, he channeled the lightning essence that has been recently bestowed upon him, as in the past, like, I think 2 hours, actually, in game. Anyways. And initially, I rolled a 1, and then I rolled a 1 again, and then I rolled a 20.
Yeah.
It's fucking the perfect way to describe him. Anyways, he's sucked into kind of a parchment world. I think you described it similar to looking to Okami, which I think is the perfect way for that to look. Where he was greeted with the visage of a spirit fox that seemed to yip with the thunderous lightning voice. It was adorable. Yes. Apparently, as he bent down to pet the fox, it put its head in his hand and said, "Accepted." And then when he snapped back to reality, the scroll itself was burning, and Shroud pointed at the fox that was on his shoulder, because out of game I asked Crash if I could get a fox skin, and I kind of forgot to mention it in game, but he had that. He went shopping, basically, and found like a hunter.
It would have been during the time you guys were at the floors, probably. Or the way there, something like that.
That's what I figured. Yeah, apparently its little eye was glowing with lightning. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yes.
And are you gonna use that token from here on out?
If it was set up, I don't know if it was set up.
You can set it on your sheet at least. So it shows up.
That's true.
I think I did at the time, and then we edited it, and I got rid of it, and then I didn't put the new one in.
Oh.
Ba-da-ba-da.
It's not that hard. I can do it real fast right now.
Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play you a song in the world's tiniest violin.
Yeah, of course you have it. Yep.
We all have it.
Wait, you
oh my god.
He gives us a great blessing.
Well,
Overlapping. Why don't I give each of you a tiny violin?
Orchestra.
We are musicians.
no, it's gonna be the token, right? Because it's the token.
Oh, I'm saving that one.
The
That
ne-
was my favorite.
After that, I think the next big thing that happened was the palm research and the results thereof.
Oh, right.
Oh, I think that was the first thing we did actually.
It was.
It was, we jumped around.
Oh, it was?
I didn't want to throw you guys off your rhythm.
Mm.
Right, and the research there was that because of its like life-giving properties,
And the fact that it wasn't hermetically sealed.
and the fact that it wasn't hermetically sealed,
Yes.
some of Irina's spores clung to the palm. Whereas the samples that Grover and Dahlia took from Irina are dead and thus no longer a part of her. This, in some capacity, still holds her, not genetic material, but some essence of her lives on through it.
There's hope.
There's hope. There'd be more hope if we were able to find ground zero, or not ground zero, but where we were when the explosion
Stupid
was
phone.
about to hit us. Where Irina
Potential
sacrificed herself.
samples. Yeah.
Yes, but that is finding a needle in a wasteland of haybacks.
Yeah. Haybacks. Yeah.
Was it?
More like
Needle
finding a
stacks.
specific needle within a needle stack.
Yeah, it's probably a better way of describing it.
There's a bunch of sparks and debris and shit, and we gotta find red spores.
Yeah. I'm ready for everyone to be like, okay, you guys go to the zone. Everyone will be 1d1000. You need a natural 1.
It's possible.
It's possible.
So you're,
I think I'm more than
saying
800.
there's a chance?
There is a chance. Good luck, but there is a chance. And I'm ready to introduce everything that randomness entails.
If the NPCs also roll, and then technically that's Crash's roll, we use Bumbling Buffoon.
Not how it works. No, yeah, it ain't slick. You had to try that since the last campaign. You ain't slick.
Would it be a skill check? Because we do have one to just pass a skill check.
It's not a skill check. It's a luck check. Eat my ass.
What, would that give us a 1?
Guarantee success.
I'm back.
Alright. Also, Garth, the token should be set up now.
Hypothetically, theoretically.
See, it took like
I think
Yay, it's blue.
Grover also mentioned that he is pursuing or researching
Thank
a
you.
third avenue, but he doesn't want to speak to it until he has something conclusive to share about it.
correct.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Which is fair. Don't give us false hope. Well, not us. Don't give Falk false hope.
I was gonna say, who's us? It's fuck that we're worried about.
He's gonna honor himself if he doesn't get Irina back.
Promise? I'm kidding.
I think Grover's... Oh no! Now I have to make a new character.
Oh, no, it's
I think Grover's steadily becoming my favorite warden.
I wonder why.
He's enabling me.
He's giving you drugs and the provocation to murder a goblin.
That might shift today a little bit. The needle, that is, because I did think of something new for Nova to have, and I think you guys are really gonna like it.
They're air
He's gonna love it. I know that.
Ooh.
Dude's not even here though, so doesn't matter.
Kirsty, where are you?
And she's BRB, so
Yeah.
I can don't know until
Ah.
no one tell her.
Oh, well, I was
Okay.
gonna at her and be like, terrible timing.
One more thing about, speaking of Nova, that happened last night. Last session
There you go.
is Caradoc started talking to Nova about what needs to be done in terms of the process to facilitate the armor, and then go get measured by Comedian and get some modifications before we start, so you have the armor the way you want it before we commit.
Oh, there's another piece to that. We gotta, how to say, attune the armor to you.
Oh yeah, tap my blood.
Yep. If you're another spellcasting class, we would have a different process. But unfortunately, or fortunately, take your pick, you are a sorcerer, which means it is in your, the power is in you viscerally.
I mean,
collect it viscerally.
a blood gem or a blood crystal sounds pretty fucking cool. As a catalyst, just saying.
It's gonna be more like wiring, as where circuitry is probably the way I would describe it.
Ooh.
Because
Even
it's going to
cooler.
essentially be in the trim of your armor. Right, so all the edging on it is where the blood's going to be. In a crystallized... shut up. In a crystallized form. And of course, for combat gear, you want redundancy. So it's not just going to be like a singular line. There's going to be several, in case different parts get dented, bent, shattered, etc., etc., etc.
It's like that quote from Rex in Mass Effect. Ah, the beauty of a redundant nervous system.
Yes, they're sort of like that. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Sorry, humans don't have that. Oh, shame.
That explains why Krogans are... Never mind. Moving on. Anything else?
Welcome back, Kirsty.
Hello.
I don't.
I remembered one tiny detail, which technically no PC saw of we mentioned after the scroll thing, Red, which then, not in a panic, but very much expecting her to be there, Jin tried to see if she was around. He got like a 15, so it's like, don't expect that. From an out-of-game perspective, she rolled like a 26 with advantage on stealth, and then Shroud rolled a 28.
27, actually.
27, thank you.
It was even closer. And you didn't need advantage to do it. Classic Ash Warden.
He didn't need advantage twice.
Yep. There was one other piece, which I thought you were going to allude to. You caught something. This was a bit after session, but it was technically in session in terms of the events. With good old Ted.
Yes. So when they were talking about Irina, they were talking about Irina when Grover and them were talking about Irina. Jin kind of sensed meme joke. He sensed a disturbance in the force. In reality, he felt this very strong presence of naturalistic energy. And he detected it coming from Ted for like just a brief moment. He couldn't pin down exactly why initially, but then he, I believe, incited Grover, which reminded him of previously when he was talking to, I believe, Anvil about he knows something, but I can't tell you, and it comes off very much as like that's kind of just a thing, at least in his perspective, from the Dream Rampant of you don't pry into certain business.
Yep. Dream Rampant is very, very secretive. Supposedly there are people that live there. You would be hard pressed to find anyone that could confirm such an account. Right?
Because anyone that could wouldn't confirm an account. But yeah, so he senses that from Ted, gets a vibe from fucking Grover, and kind of pieces together like, there is something Dream Rampant-y going on over here. Out of game, I rolled like background on Dream Rampant and got like a 12. But yeah, it's just a weird thing. It's a funny little thing he just picked up, a quirky little thing he noticed.
Yeah, it's just something Ted stole from someone. It's probably not related to him.
Probably not related to Gord at all or anything.
No, that's silly.
Yeah.
Silly.